Ask yourself, what is a thing that is just constantly hindering your ability to have joy? Don't have to eat the elephant all at once. You eat an elephant one bite at a time. I just don't have time to waste anymore, you guys. I just don't want to spend my time doing things that don't matter. Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'm talking about probably one of the things that excites me the most, and that is organization, planning, and things of that nature. And the reason this excites me is because I have seen the fruit that come from it. I found myself in a state where I was constantly feeling behind, constantly stressed out, and allowing a lot of the circumstances around me to dictate my mood, which then made it harder for me to nurture and love my kids. It made it more difficult for me to love and be affectionate with my husband. And so I found that my inability to manage my time and steward the blessings that I had was not even allowing me to enjoy them and enjoy them to the fullest. And so a lot of what I'm going to be, sorry, my kitty. Esther loves my tripod, and so anytime I'm filming a video, she's always at the feet of the thing. But I have grown and learned so much just from my own mistakes. And so if you find yourself in the state of frustration or find yourself feeling like you can never catch up or you can't take a breath, I just want you to know that you are 100% able to get to a place where you are able to manage your home, where you are able to enjoy your kids and not let it overwhelm you and consume you. And I say it with such love and gentleness because I know it's really difficult. I know it can be, we easily fall into this comparison trap of like seeing everyone online and seeing the highlight reels and stuff. And so I completely understand, but I just really wanted to just share like little pockets that have really helped me and just little tiny things. And this is the thing that you will notice. The things I'm going to share with you, when I say them, you might be like, okay, but I'm telling you, it's a combination of all these really little things and little tiny details that make such a big difference. And it's funny because as I am preparing for postpartum, I have slowly been giving my husband these little tips because for the first 5 days, I do plan on staying in bed. And so I wanted to lighten his load as much as possible. And so I was trying to think of a way to get him into my brain and explain to him the order and structure of the way that I do things and why it makes the most sense to do it like that and how it's really worked for me. So again, this is sharing from what I have done. Obviously, there are many other ways to do it. Use this as a springboard into finding your own organization and rhythms for you to follow. So let's start off with mornings. I am a huge morning person, more so a rhythm person. I do the same thing every single morning. And I have done reels on this before. I've shared about it a couple of times here, but I am so structured in this that I can do it with my eyes half open. I can do it without thinking, and it's become a time of worship instead of a time of slugging through and feeling frustrated that I have to do the same task over and over again. Because I think a lot of what moms do and homemakers do if you stay at home is the same consistent work. And so it can feel like a lot of what we're doing is going into vain, but I'm telling you it's not. The Bible tells us to do everything as unto the Lord. And so when you are folding laundry, when you're doing the dishes, or when you're changing diapers, there's a way to do it where we're still honoring the Lord, and He loves that. So as soon as I wake up, I'll go and I'll brush my teeth, I'll put on my face serums and things, I'll go to the bathroom, and then I go and collect laundry for the day. Now, this is something that I won't talk too much about because I have an entire video I've done on this, but I will link that video down below on how I've changed my heart posture towards laundry, because that was a task I used to absolutely hate. And now it is a task that takes me very minimal time. It's so quick and easy for me to do, and it's just enjoyable. And so I collect all the laundry for the day. I pick up all of the bedrooms. And again, this takes me not very long. This isn't taking me any more than 5 minutes. And then I put a load to wash and I unload my dishwasher. That's it. I do that every single morning. That sets me up in a way where laundry is started first thing in the morning. So if we do have an outing or something, like laundry can just be something that I'm not thinking about. And then my dishwasher, I'll explain this when I put later, because I'm trying to walk through the day because I feel like it makes the most sense to structure this video like that. But I will explain later as to why I'm unloading my dishwasher, because it gets put to bed every night. And so unloading it first thing just guarantees that dishes are not going to be piling up that day. Anything that I do have to clean can go straight into the dishwasher. There's no excuse or reason why there should be dishes piled up. So after I do kind of like my little morning routine, now let's go back a couple of steps. So find a rhythm and morning thing that you do that makes the most sense for your household. So if your kids have to go to school, maybe for you, it makes actually the most sense for you to pull out lunches or make lunches or do something like that. So it doesn't have to be exactly what I'm doing. What is your pain point in the morning? What do you feel like you're always rushing to do? Or what's that thing that kind of lingers over your head that you have to do? And that until you do it, it's kind of hard to do all the other tasks you need to do. Find that pain point and then just tackle it every single morning and then kind of reward yourself. So like for me, I don't have my morning coffee until after I've done all of this and I'm about to start like homeschooling the kids or I'm about to head out the door for something. I tried not to have coffee first thing. I found that one, I wake up with a headache if I don't every day moving forward after that. Then also it feels like I kind of get a little treat and a reward and I can sit down and read my Bible really quick. Like it kind of like puts a stop and an end to that like routine being done. So find your pain points and find a little routine and rhythm that you can kind of just stick to and just get to doing every single day without having much thought. The other thing that I have done that has drastically changed all of our lives is for me to minimize all of the closets. Having a less amount of clothes means there's less an amount to wash, less an amount to care for, less amount to deal with. And so doing this has really been helpful. And if it is helpful to you, you can follow the 5-5-5 rule. So you can do 5 tops, 5 t-shirts, 5 dresses, 5 blah, 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 blah. It's just so great for the kids. Oh my gosh, Esther. Them knowing exactly how much they own, it's less on them. And it's made it so much easier for them when they have to get up in the morning and have to get themselves dressed. It's less decisions for them to make. It's a lot easier for me because laundry is a lot simpler and we can't go past an X amount of days because then people literally run out of clothes. And so doing that has been super helpful. I wear one dress a day. And so anytime I am folding up laundry, I have my dress, I have my bra, and my underwear, and that's it. And so this has been so great because it's just simplified everything. Now, on top of that, one of my favorite things that I recently started doing when I reorganized all of my kids' clothing and did a whole restructuring of how I store their hand-me-downs. If you guys want a video on that, definitely leave a link down below because this has blessed me in ways I can't even begin to tell you. Like I could cry about it because for me, this clothing was a huge pain point. And so again, ask yourself, what is a pain point for me? Is it the toys? Is it the clothes? Is it the messes? Like ask yourself, what is a thing that is just constantly hindering your ability to have joy? And for me, it was the clothes because I really wanted to hold on to their clothes. I really wanted to save it for hand-me-downs. But the system that I had in place was just overwhelming, time consuming, and it would take me an entire day to be able to do this. And I just rotated one of my kids' clothing and it took me 5 minutes. And I just felt so great because I just don't have time to waste anymore, you guys. I feel like I'm just at this place. I feel like the older I get, I just don't want to spend my time doing things that don't matter. That like, I literally feel like the book of Ecclesiastes is like on my mind all day because I'm like, everything is vanity. I don't have time to do this. Like everything like is just useless. And so I don't want to spend my time organizing clothes for hours at a time. I remember one of my kids at our old house, I had spent like 6 hours doing the whole clothing rotation and sifting through. It was just ridiculous. And so this new system, what I have is a outgrowing bin in all of their closets. And so anytime they are outgrowing something and I notice it as I'm folding up their laundry, it gets tossed into that bag. And then because I have all of their new clothes stored, or like at least for the ones that I was changing, I have sizes available for this child to grow into. I just went into that, picked up the 5 shirts, the 5 tops, and I just put it right into their closet and took whatever wasn't fitting right back down into the new system, and it didn't even take me any effort. And while I was going through the clothes, I also have a donation bin. I'll link a video that I did down below where I do talk about my donation and return bin, but having 2 of these in a large bin in your garage or somewhere that's like outside of your home is super helpful because then there were some clothes that I noticed were ripped or just had had really been worn in a lot and I didn't think it would last any more children. So I just took that piece and put it right into the donation bin. So now it's there, and the next time this bin gets full, I can just go ahead and donate it. Same with the return. What I keep in that return bin is anything that has to be returned to like a store or Amazon or to a friend, or anything that like doesn't have a home in my home, but isn't time for it to leave my home yet. Does that make sense? Because then it's not just sitting somewhere. There's like an actual place where I can put it. So that is definitely something I suggest, minimizing the clothing. Now, next category to kind of be on trend with this is to declutter your home frequently. And if you live and breathe, you are probably buying and having things coming in. And if you're having something come in, things have to go out, or else you find yourself in the state of just having a lot of stuff. And so get into the habit again of having that donation bin out there. And if you're ever getting dressed in the morning, I literally did that this morning. I was getting dressed, I saw a dress, I was like, I have not worn this in 3 months. I took it and I put it in the donation bin. I just simply do not need to have it. I can give it to a friend, I can donate it to Salvation Army. Just constantly in this state of like, is this item serving me? Like, am I using it? Do I need it? Did I just buy it because I just thought? Like, just constantly evaluating what is coming in and what is coming out of your home. So just constantly be in a state of decluttering. I will link my winterizing video that I did where I kind of walk you through how I had done this, because I had winterized my home and did a huge declutter and a bunch of other things. So I can link that down below. Next thing, and if you follow me for any amount of time, you know I'm big on this, but that is to schedule your cleaning. And that goes from when you're going to mop, to when you're going to vacuum, when you're going to clean the sheets, when you're going to clean the towels, when you are going to do the bathrooms, when you're going to deep clean specific spaces. And I have found that this is super helpful, because when I have a moment, it's just so much easier to stay on top of it, because when you have it scheduled out, you know, like, okay, like I notice that my towels are starting to get a little bit dirty, but I have too much going on right now, but I know I'm going to be cleaning them in 2 days. And so that's okay. And I find that having it scheduled, you're actually doing it and less time is going in between. And so things aren't just like really compiling. And by the time you actually have to do it, it's not like there's months worth of dust sitting there. It's only a week's worth. And so actually doing it takes a lot less time. I have found that in our household, doing these like smaller, consistent things that don't take that long is a lot better versus me waiting a month or so to pass before doing it and then having to spend a lot of time and effort doing it because it takes a lot longer, because there's way more to do and clean. And so again, maybe for you, the consistency of doing it weekly is too much. So you go to a bi-weekly schedule or maybe a monthly schedule, but don't allow the amount of things that have to get done consume you, because once you actually write down the things that you actually really do want to clean or prioritize, then you're able to tackle it and you don't have to eat the elephant all at once. You eat an elephant one bite at a time. All right, next thing, still on topic with the decluttering, because again, I think simplifying what you have is just genius, because it's less for you to manage, it's less to get messy, it's less to just have to look at. And so our decor has become very minimal. My kids' toys have become very minimal. I will link my full toy collection that is very intentional down below if you're curious as to what we have kept and how I tackle and handle toy donations, because I feel like there's a whole nother element to that when it comes with littles. But again, what are your pain points? Maybe your kids don't have a ton of toys, and so this isn't something that you struggle with, but maybe yours do. And so maybe it's just time to really just sit there and watch, what are they actually playing with? What aren't they playing with? What can we donate, or what can we save to go to grandma's house, or what can we better do to allow this to serve us versus us serving it? And with all of these things that I'm mentioning, I really want to harp on the fact and the idea of your heart posture, because when it comes to tending to the things in our home, as mundane as it can feel, we cannot allow these blessings and these gifts to overconsume us and become what we are consistently doing and thinking about and where we find our identity. But also the way that we treat it and the way that we talk about it, I think, is super impactful. So I had one of my kids offer to unload my dishwasher for me the other day, and they did it with a smile on their face. face, and they did it with such joy and such pride, and they were so excited to serve me. They blessed me tremendously, but I also felt like that also blessed them in the way that they were doing it and their attitude. And I was like, wow, it just really had me sitting and reflecting for a second, because I was able to remember how when I unload the dishwasher, I out loud will speak and let my kids know, like, I'm so thankful we have dishes, because we are using our dishes because we're eating and we have food on the table. And what a blessing it is to be able to eat 3 times a day. Like, the fact that I am able to make meals for our family 3 times a day and provide food for us to eat is such a blessing. And I will ask them, like, are you so thankful we have fresh food in our fridge? Aren't you so thankful we have a dishwasher that actually washes our dishes for us, so I don't have to sit here and hand wash everything? I think the way that we posture ourselves sets a huge example for our children. And so just vocalize a thankful heart out loud, because then your kids will grow up seeing you in a constant state of thankfulness and a thankful heart. And what a blessing it is. I think sometimes chores, and even the idea of calling them chores, it can kind of give the impression of like, this is something I don't want to do, it's annoying that I have to do this. But when we call it a responsibility, or when we call it a task that we have to do, and when we're doing it, we're excited about it, it really does impact our kids. And so I've noticed that my kids have adapted to that. I had a child, again, another one, who wanted to fold all the clothes, and literally as they were doing it, they were repeating a lot of what I say, and they were like, thank you, God, that we have clean clothes, and that we are able to play outside, and that we are able to wear clothes and we don't walk around naked. Like, my child was literally saying this to me, and I was like, wow. This is just so convicting, because they are listening and they are watching everything that we're doing. That really put things into perspective for me, because I was like, I would hate for them to think that me having to do laundry for them every day is a burden, because then they're assuming their simple existence is a burden, and that they come with a lot of responsibility that is burdensome to me, and that I don't want to be doing this, that I'd rather be doing something else, or like, I don't know. I think it just really sobered me in a lot of ways. And so keep all of that in mind as you're doing these things. Let's kind of wrap up and move on. So when it comes to cooking and cleaning, one habit that I have is I do not start cooking until the kitchen is cleaned up. If there are dishes in the sink, they get put into the dishwasher. If there are dishes that are in the drying rack, I put them away. I always start with a clean kitchen, because it can be very overwhelming and hard to kind of keep up when you're cleaning if there's already a huge mess, because you're just really adding to that mess. And so being in a state of not starting until things are cleaned up really gets you motivated and kick-started and ready. And anytime there's a lull in a recipe, I'm just cleaning things as I go. I'm always thinking of myself 20 minutes from now. I'm always thinking of Milena tomorrow. I'm thinking of myself and what I would have enjoyed if I would have done 20 minutes ago. So I know I'm gonna be sitting here at the table with my family, and I know Milena is gonna be really happy with Milena if she was cleaning up as things are cooking. I mean, there's always a lull in a recipe, whether you're waiting for something to boil or you're waiting for the oven to go off. There's always like little tiny breaks, even if it's just a couple minutes. Like, do not underestimate how much you can get done in a couple of minutes. Like, do it now so you don't have to do it later. As I'm going throughout the day, a little thing that I tell myself all the time is, don't put it down, put it away. Don't put it down, put it away. And so when you're constantly doing that, it just takes just as long to put it into its place versus just setting it down in a temporary place. Now, if you don't have time to set it down in a temporary place, put it in a basket where you're able to get to it and it's not just splattered everywhere. It's just easier to kind of just take everything that's in that pile and put it all in its place. So for example, the easiest place that I would say for us, that pain point for us, is upstairs versus downstairs. So I have a literal stair basket that sits there. So if I don't have time to run upstairs, or my belly is just getting too big and I don't want to walk up the stairs, I just put it in that basket, and anytime I do head up, I just take the basket with me and just disperse and unload whatever it is that was in that basket. So don't put it down, put it in its place. With the kitchen, this is something my mom used to do growing up that I didn't understand, and I thought she was annoying for until I had my own family, and that is close the kitchen. This is one of the small things that makes the biggest impact. We close our kitchen every single night, and it is glorious waking up to a clean kitchen. Normally the only thing that I have to do is unload the dishwasher or normally put away any dishes that were in a drying rack. But starting off your day with a cleaned kitchen, I think, is unmatched to any other feeling. The way that my husband and I will do this, it depends on who cooked and who cleaned or who's doing bath times and whatnot. But again, because we're cooking and cleaning as we go, it just does not take long. And so maybe for you, that is just throwing all of the dishes in the dishwasher, maybe putting some pots and pans to soak. I always like to vacuum, especially the kitchen area. It's just the cats and the dogs, like we have to vacuum 3 times a day. And so doing that makes my mornings run a little bit smoother. So again, find your pain point and what it is that you struggle with and tackle it and assign a mission to it. Oh, the other thing is to involve your kids. And this one may sound silly, but I think involving the kids and having them participate and giving them responsibility is really important. We do pay our kids for their responsibility. Again, I think that's a topic that we can discuss on a different day. I think some people are indifferent with that, but we have started to pay our children for the responsibilities that they have and complete. It has been the way that we have been able to show them how to work for things, and how it's also been how I've been able to incorporate money and homeschooling and teaching them about currency and coins and things. And so that's been really fun. But involving them and the attitude that we have towards doing these activities has made my life a lot easier, and it's really fun to do things as a team. We run our household like a business and like a soccer team. This is something that we talk about on our podcast a lot. I'll link some episodes that we've done down below. But just running and managing your household like a business, I'll link my video that I did on that below, is so helpful because it sets you up in a way where it's not just one person doing it all, even though everyone is living under that same roof. I think it's very important to teach kids responsibility. It's very important to give them autonomy in the things that they are doing. And this starts as early as 1. I have had all my kids help me unload the dishwasher since they could stand up. And so it's something that they're so used to doing. It doesn't feel like a chore the way that we talk about it. We just have a heart of gratitude because we're truly thankful for the things that we have, and we take pride and joy in taking care of the blessings that God has entrusted us to steward. And so I pray that this helps you steward your gifts and your blessings that you have, whether they're really big or really small. He who can be trusted with little can be trusted with much. And so do everything as unto the Lord, and I swear to you, your whole life will change, even to the mundane little things. So I pray this video blesses you. Let me know if you have any little hacks that you do that you tell yourself all day long, and how you get your things done and steward your home. I love you guys. Be blessed, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.